Welcome to one more episode of Headline to Heartline. Today we are tearing apart one of the rarest pieces of royal source material we've seen in a while. It's Prince William's really candid sit-down on The Reluctant Traveler. That was on Apple TV Plus 6A, aired October 3rd, 2025. So our mission today, a deep dive. We want to figure out what William really wanted us to feel and, what his bigger strategic plan might be for the crown's future.
Yeah, the timing here is just crucial, isn't it? This wasn't simply a travel show appearance. It felt, very carefully managed. What really jumps out, I think, is the stark emotional honesty. He used it to humanize the institution right when it was facing, frankly, one of its deepest recent crises. That candor about his family's health challenges, that's really the core insight here, I feel.
Mm-hmm. And that honesty, it started right away when he talked about the timeline of distress. He didn't really mince words about the last year or so, 2023 through 2024, calling it, and this is a direct quote, the hardest year I've ever had.
Wow.
That's incredibly stark language, especially coming from a future king, right?
It really is. And it's hard to overstate the shock he described. He confirmed he was genuinely blindsided by the dual cancer diagnoses. Mm-hmm. First his father, King Charles, and then his wife, Princess Kate. He even admitted that the pressure juggling public duties with such intense private turmoil, it pushed him to some pretty not great places.
Yeah.
That level of vulnerability, admitting that struggle, it really grounds him, connects him to the audience's experience.
And crucially, the update everyone was waiting for. He confirmed Kate is now, thankfully, in remission. He said everything is progressing the right way. That public confirmation, delivered so personally, that builds enormous public goodwill. It feels like a key strategic move.
It does, but it also raises a really important question, doesn't it? When you survive something that intense, how does that experience shape your strategy, especially for the next generation?
Right. It seems like the suffering, the pressure of the past couple of years, it's given him this laser focus on the future, especially regarding his kids, George, Charlotte, and Louis. We got some real insight into his protective parenting style.
Absolutely. And the detail that caught so many commentators off guard wasn't about royal duty, it was about boundaries. None of his children have cell phones.
Yeah, that was surprising.
He basically laid down the law. Mandatory family dinners, lots of open conversation, and a real focus on outdoor activity. Like a deliberate shield, trying to protect them from the kind of media exposure he and Harry went through.
Okay. While that sounds incredibly protective, is there maybe a downside? I mean, isolating them completely from the digital world now, could that make it way harder for them to adjust later on when they have to engage with modern communication in public life?
That's the tightrope he's walking, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's clearly drawing lessons from his own childhood. He reflected on how his parents' very public divorce influences how he wants to lead his own family. He's prioritizing this normal foundation even while, acknowledging the past. He misses Queen Elizabeth II, calling Windsor her. It was quite poignant.
Mm-hmm. But he's definitely looking forward. So what does this measured approach signal for the crown itself? How does that translate?
Well, he stressed that change is on his agenda. But it's measured change. He's not talking about some radical revolution, but specific reforms. Reforms aimed squarely at keeping the monarchy relevant today.
Relevant, right.
It signals a modernizing approach, definitely, but one built on the idea that the institution has to earn its place, prove its worth.
And speaking of the past, he did touch on the rift with Prince Harry, a very carefully worded comment. It felt like a clear acknowledgement, expressing hope, maybe, that they can avoid repeating the practices in the past that caused that huge wedge.
Exactly. And you can't ignore the little humanizing bits woven, and even with all the serious stuff, like admitting he's a fan of American Pie,
right,
or joking about speeding around Windsor on a scooter because he's always running late.
Yeah, those moments count.
It just reminds he's trying to be relatable, a person, not just this distant symbol.
So stepping back, looking at the whole thing, this deep dive really shows someone using strategic transparency. He's humanizing the institution during a crisis while also signaling this quiet but determined commitment to reform, necessary reform.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on. Does his intense focus on giving his kids this protected, normal childhood actually set a sustainable precedent? Or could it risk maybe underpreparing the future king and queen consort for the intense public scrutiny that's just inevitable?
Something to definitely think about. Well, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe. See you next time.